What is up, you guys? Welcome back to our YouTube channel. I'm Kathy.
I'm John.
And together we are
the Journey with Emphasis. Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode on our series, The Minimalist Lifestyle. If you are new here, our channel is all about family, development, lifestyle, and travel.
So, if last week we talked about what is minimalism, why we chose a minimalist lifestyle as a family, and what are the benefits you can get out from this lifestyle. This week, we're going to talk about social media detox and how it relates to a minimalist lifestyle.
I'm gonna get my coffee first. All right, so last week, we talked a lot about the virtues of living a minimalist lifestyle, right? And one of which is living an intentional life. And what that means when you live an intentional life is identifying, right, what are your beliefs and your values, and making sure that you deliberately live your life aligned to those values and beliefs, and you're tapping on those beliefs and values on a daily basis to enable you to live a minimalist, low battery, to enable you to live an intentional life instead of living passively. I think that in order for you to truly live an intentional life, you need to avoid distractions, right? You need to avoid things that will draw you away from focusing on what truly matters to your life, right? And in line with what we're going to talk about this week, one of those distractions that we will discuss is all about the social media. It's all about the social media, right? And how by doing a social media detox, will enable us to live in an intentional life,
A meaningful life,
and live a minimalist life. Okay, so the same as what we did last week, in order for our video to be organized, we are going to be answering 4 questions related to this topic. But before we proceed, disclaimer, right? Because, I feel like social media has been very helpful, right?
Yeah.
To make our lives
easier,
convenient,
connected.
And in order, it enables us to get connected with people, right? Everyone knows that. But it is the excessive usage of social media is what I think what we need to address here, right?
Hence the social media detox.
Right, and why we're going to talk about the social media detox.
So what is social media detox? This is when someone or a person voluntarily refrains himself from using digital devices such as smartphones, computers, or social media app as a whole. This detoxification form gained popularity due to so much screen time.
Yeah, so in a nutshell, it's basically just stopping everything that you do that involves social media, right? Think of it when you have been eating a lot of sweets, sugars, or unhealthy food, and you would like to start to go on a diet. You stop eating those unhealthy food and you start taking in healthy food. That's the same goes when we say social media detox, is we stop using all the social media and the excessive usage of it. Stop checking your phones all the time, stop browsing, everything on your feed, whatever social media platform you use, and start doing something else that makes you more productive.
So, how to detox? First, try to find out what specific app do you use so much of your time. In some phones, you can see that, which specific app do you have screen time the most. And if you find out that one, number 2, start small. Try to delete that app for 12 hours only. Okay? You can't delete something that you use excessively or you use on a daily basis and just have it gone for the entire day. So just start small and try for the first 12 hours.
So there's this term called cold turkey, right? Where what that means is you stop doing something immediately, right? For example, you've been a heavy smoker before, and one day you just decided, okay, I'm going to quit smoking, and never smoked since then. That's why called cold turkey. Now, social media detox, doesn't necessarily mean you have to do a cold turkey, right?
Yes.
Because just like any other addiction, social media is the same, right? It's difficult to stick to it, right? To stick to your commitment of not, doing a social media when you stop it immediately.
Yes.
Hence, to Kathy's point earlier, if you think, right, that you cannot just quit social media right there and then and stop it totally, then at least start small, right? Do it gradually, right? If before you're doing a social media for 8 hours a day, start maybe with lowering it down to 7 hours, right? After a week of doing it and you feel like you're just fine, then lower it again to 6 hours until such time you get to minimize the your usage of social media until such time that hopefully you can totally stop it, right? And then you're right, you need to identify which social media is eating so much of your time. For me, in my case, between the two of us, I'm the one who's very, I'd say, addicted to social media, right? And it's because it's more of an impulse sometimes, since I use a lot. I use my phone a lot for my work, right? And all apps are there. Sometimes during my idle time, my finger, out of impulse, would just press on Facebook, right, or Instagram. I would caught myself trapped into the rabbit hole and
keep scrolling
endlessly, and without realizing it's eating so much of my time.
Another trick to social media detox is when it is bedtime, try to put your phone away from your bed. One good trick is either you put it in your living room, that's probably near your room, right? Or my trick is putting it inside the closet. That's like its own bedtime. Why? Because let's all face it, the moment we wake up in the morning, when our phone is just on our bedside, what's our tendency?
You reach for it.
You're tempted to reach for it, right? And then before you know it, you're opening all the apps and you're there for more than probably an hour. And if your reason is, I use my phone for my alarm clock, you can actually buy a real alarm clock instead of using your phone.
All right, so one last trick I think would be very helpful is, I think it'll help if you let the people around you know that you are actually doing a social media detox. Because most of the time, what happens is, if you're trying to get rid of using the social media, apps a lot, there'd be friends or family members who'd tempt you to look at a specific video, or would tell you that they tag you on pictures and stuff like that it's almost tempting to look at your Facebook again or check your Instagram again. But if you tell them, right, that hey, in 1 week I am going to not use my social media, or I'm not going to use my Facebook or Instagram, and tell them that if you need anything from me, you can reach me out through my cell phone number, right? Or you can call me. I'm not available on Messenger, WhatsApp, or whatever social media platform that is. I think that'll help. I've heard this a lot. I have friends who've tried social media detox, and their friends, their true friends and family members have been very supportive. If you want to try social media detox, go tell your friends, your accountability buddy, right? Your co-workers, your family members, and you'd be surprised at their all-out support. They'll give you their all-out support, rather.
Lastly, a good trick for social media detox, and if you are someone who is not ready to really get away from social media, a good trick is to set an alarm on that specific app.
Right.
So say, for example, you want to do IG, Instagram. Say, I just want to stay here for a good 30 minutes. Go set an alarm for 30 minutes. And once your alarm goes off, just stop right away. That's a good trick, really, when you want to lessen or minimize your screen time. So what are the benefits of social media detox?
There's actually a lot, but I want to just dive into a few, which I think are substantial, right? So first off is, you've probably noticed that when you do your social media, right, when you browse your Facebook feed, most of the time you see the highlights of people's lives, right? And by seeing those highlights, human as we are, we tend to compare ourselves to others. Now, there's an old adage that says, comparison is the thief of happiness.
Yes.
And, by merely doing a detox, a social media detox, by merely not seeing what others, what are the highlights of the lives of other people, then that helps you focus on your own wins, on your own success, based on your definition of success and based on your pace. It reduces the
anxiety, depression,
right,
because of the comparison.
Right. No, that's true. By comparing, sometimes it leads us to lower self-esteem, right? Because you think that, low battery again, you feel like, this person is better than myself, right? Having low self-esteem can cause you anxiety, right? And depression.
That's a huge one.
Because it always makes you think that you're not enough.
You're not good enough.
So that's one. And then the other benefit, I'd say, is reclaiming your time, right? Being able to control how to utilize your time. It's not a secret, right, what social media did to all of us, right? When you start browsing something, you can't just stop, because I've seen this documentary on Netflix. I think it's called, I forgot the title, but it's all about social media social media dilemma.
Yeah, social media dilemma.
But in that documentary, they explain that the apps right now, or this social media platform, has an AI technology where the feeds that you see there, they personalize it based on your interest. Hence, sometimes you caught yourself, like what I mentioned earlier, falling into the rabbit hole, because everything that they flash on your feed is something they know is your interest. Right? So you can't stop looking at it, because when you like something, when you're interested about something, you keep on going, right? When you can't stop browsing, or you can stop being there in social media, you don't have control of your time, right? You're losing the importance of, or the essentiality of your time, because then instead of spending it to a more important things, you're spending it to something that's not useful.
There's also, you'll reconnect more to people around you.
Right.
Don't get us wrong. Of course, social media really helps us connect with people, especially those that, especially right now, during pandemic, you can just communicate with your friends. But what I'm talking about is to connect with people that's in front of you.
Yeah, real connection.
Yeah, you are being present when they're talking. I think we are all guilty that when someone's talking in front of us, and this is my personal pet peeve, that if I'm talking to you, for me, it's really being disrespectful if you are on your phone while I'm talking to you. So I think it's showing more respect, and you'll reconnect more to the people that's around you when you're socializing. Right? Another is, you get to appreciate more special moments, Why? Because you are being present.
Yeah, you live in the moment. You live in the now,
moment.
right?
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest benefits of doing a social media detox is that when you are off your phone, you get to be present, right? You get to focus on
What's happening
around you, who are the people out there, and you get to talk to them in person, really have that connection, right?
Yeah.
So lastly, I think kind of in line to what I said about reclaiming your time and making sure that it's not, you're not spending so much with social media. Once once you do a detox, right, in the next 3 days, 4 or 5 days, there'd be moments where or when you will feel bored. Why? Because then you're starting to realize now that
you have more time.
You have more time, right? So it's important that, when you plan on doing a detox, you need to have a plan as well of what's going to be the activities that you want to
spend more time
with, right?
Meaningful activities.
Do you want to, exactly, yeah. So do you want to spend more time going to the gym, right? Or do you want to spend more time having, like
coffee dates with
your
friends.
Or having quality time with your loved ones? Do you want to learn a new skill, right?
Oh my God, exactly what I was in my
So yeah, think of those, right? Because apparently these things or these activities, one thing's for sure, can make you more productive, right? Rather than spending it on social media.
Lastly, where are we at with our journey on social media detox?
Yeah, so I already mentioned this earlier, but between Kathy and I, like I was the one who's so into social media, right? But knowing all the disadvantage of social media addiction, I ventured, not really ventured, but I challenged myself to overcome, right, this addiction, right? So so far I started so it was my New Year's resolution, right? But it took me a couple of days first before I finally deleted my Facebook. So yeah, but that's what I did is I deleted my Facebook. I deactivated my Facebook account, right? And then I still have it on my phone. I still have Facebook on my phone, but that's only because we are trying to manage our Facebook page. But yeah, since I deactivated my Facebook account, since then I've seen a drop on my screen time. Earlier I was checking it, I was around 35% down from last week, and that's my goal, is to continue decreasing my screen time, right? For me personally, I only have Facebook, I only have Instagram, that's YouTube, right? So those are just the 3 social media accounts that I have, that I'm trying to conquer, right? Because WhatsApp, what was the other one? Workplace, those are the 2 things that we use at work. So obviously that's something I can't get rid of. But as far as social media for just for pleasure, right? That's where I'm at right now. Is I deactivated my Facebook account. I still have my Instagram, but I'm not so really into it. But yeah, I'm just happy that since I think it was on the 5th of January when I deleted when I deactivated my Facebook, I feel like I have a lot more time to read books, because that's one of my goals as well in 2020, is to be able to finish a book per month. And yeah, I get to, sorry, that's a saliva blast. I get to spend more time with Zoe in the afternoon, because then I don't bring my phone I don't bring my phone anymore to my bed before I go to sleep, so I get to sleep soundly, right? And I have more time sleeping. So that gives me energy to wake up
playtime with Zoe.
To have playtime with Zoe, and I get more time to spend with my wife. So personally, that's where I'm at right now with my social media detox.
Well, since I use social media more on to reconnect with people, communication, my social media apps my go-to social media apps go-to where one is Messenger, just purely chatting my friends, closest friends, family, and IG. It's really more on the chat as well. And since I'm more disciplined than John,
She is.
I usually do social media, but I set a time limit since, of course, I'm also a work from home mom, and I have I don't really have much help when I need it. So I set time limit. I usually do 10 minutes, and my longest would be 30 minutes. So I always set an alarm, and when that's off, I'm done with it. And I'm focusing more on the things that matter, and that's playing with Zoe, communicating with Zoe, walking Zoe, cooking for John, making coffee, cleaning the house. So yeah, busy mom life.
Alright guys, so that's about it for this episode on our minimalist lifestyle series. And before we end, we just want to clarify something, right? Kathy and I are not against social media usage, right? We all know that it is a fact that since social media was invented a long time ago, there had been a lot of great things happen, right? There's a lot of advantages that happen or that you can get out of the social media, right? For example, if you haven't met your high school friends or your elementary friends for a very long time, social media is the right way to go, right? Before social media, once you graduated elementary, high school, or college, it's very impossible almost to reconnect with these people. But now, like, because of the power of social media, by just searching their name, clicking on it, that's it. You get to see them, right? You get to reconnect with them. So really, there's a lot of benefits with the social media, with using the social media, right? What we are trying to say here is that there's also the flip side of the coin, right? With the usage of social media, and that is excessive usage or addiction to social media. And there are a lot of studies and researches, and science would tell that excessive usage of social media can ruin your life, right? Can ruin your relationship. So that's where we're coming from, why we think it's important that we raise awareness on the importance of social media detox, right? On why we need to take a break, right? To take a pause and refrain yourself from using your social media, right? So I hope these tips or tricks, and by us again sharing with you guys the benefits we can get from social media, I hope this will encourage you to try it, right? To do the same, and maybe discover yourself as well that hey, like this makes sense, right? I mean, I haven't tried it before, and maybe it's something worth trying, and see how it's going to impact my life, because it did to me. And Kathy, although she's more disciplined than myself, like in a way, her minimizing her social media helped her a lot, right? So and I know it's not gonna be easy, right? Because as what I was saying earlier, it's based on science. Like, social media is a form of addiction as well, same as drugs or eating sugar, where it gives you dopamine, right? It gives you that feel-good hormones, right? It's the same thing with social media, right? It's through different forms, right? Whenever you see your notification turns red, right? Or notification rings, right? The excitement of wanting to see what is in there, and then you see that your friend or your crush or your whatever likes or commented on your Facebook, it gives you that rush, that feeling, right? That feeling, that feel so good feeling, or the dopamine in you that makes you addicted to keep on using it. I feel like there's a lot of benefit in trying it out and in making sure that you live an intentional life, right? Live a meaningful life, live a minimalist lifestyle, right? So yeah, Kathy?
Yeah, so if you like those tips, go ahead and let us know. And if you personally have more tips than we do, go ahead and share it with us. We'd love to learn from you guys too. All right, guys, so that's it for today. See you next Sunday. This has been Kathy.
And this has been John.
And together,
we are the Journey with Ancestors. Thank you so much, guys, and have a good day. Bye-bye. See ya.